Good morning to all my friends and family, and welcome to Monday. Welcome to Monday of a new Freedom Week. I'm pleased to announce that yesterday New South Wales achieved its 80% target for double vaxxed, and today is a new day, a new week with new freedoms, new hope and new opportunity. It's a magnificent spring morning emerging here in Sydney, and as you can see, the jacaranda trees are almost in full bloom, and I've got a feeling that life is going to be a lot better from today onwards. And what I'd like to do is just do what I normally do on Jim's 5am Club, and we'll go through a book summary. Today's book summary is entitled Brain Food by an author named Lisa Mosconi. So it's all about learning a little bit more about how the brain works and how what we eat can have a profound impact on our thought processes and on our mental and brain health. So what the author kicks off with in this book is a statement which suggests that if you want to make sure that your brain has enough opportunities to clean and repair itself, you need to guard your sleep, especially during the first part of the night. The author then goes on to say that what we eat, and I guess we all understand this, what we eat influences our appearance and bodily functions. So we basically need to make a decision, and there's a call to action for each and every one of us to prioritise, where possible, our edibles to help support these bodily functions. And the author introduces us to a concept of neuronutrition, making sure that we eat healthily to enable us to lead a healthy and balanced life where our bodily functions work to serve us as opposed to work against us. So the author moves on to say that food can be either a poison or a medicine, and it all depends on us and the choices that we make. Interestingly, the author brings up a statistic whereby she says that less than 1% of Alzheimer's sufferers, less than 1% of Alzheimer's is due to genetic makeup. The majority of Alzheimer's sufferers and dementia sufferers, science has found, can be sourced back and led back to the food and the lifestyle choices that we make, because lifestyle and food play a massive role in dementia and Alzheimer's. So much so that the author states some statistics where she says that 70% of stroke, 80% of heart conditions and heart attacks, and 90%, a massive 90% of type 2 diabetes can directly be attributed to the foods and lifestyles that we lead. Before I go on, there's a ferry there called the Pemulwuy. And it's interesting to note the name, because that's the name of a bush track that I follow close to my place called the Pemulwuy Loop. And the Pemulwuy, I think people were an indigenous group. And it's just interesting to note that this ferry just turning around there in front of us is named the Pemulwuy. I'll try and find out a little bit more about what the Pemulwuy name is all about. And I only just noticed it, given that I only just started these bushwalking trails. And I guess, the more we learn, the more we're capable of learning. So it makes life a lot more interesting. But let me get back to this book. I was just slightly distracted there by that name that I just saw taking off. So the author then goes on to mention, and it's something that I never knew before, that the brain needs 45 nutrients to enable it to maintain its health. 45 nutrients to help maintain our brain health. So what are these nutrients? What are the key nutrients? So the author then goes on to kick off a discussion, and the key ingredients or the key nutrients that our brain requires are water and fats. So the author here mentions that we need to stay hydrated. So another call to action. If you want your brain to be healthy, if you want your mental abilities, your cognitive abilities to be optimally positioned and enabled, then we need to stay hydrated and we need to eat fats. But not all fats. The brain is made up of 80% of water. And believe it or not, water is able to pass from your blood system straight into your brain through the blood-brain barrier. And the important thing about water is that it flushes out toxins and it fills up the spaces between the cells, which enables the chemical reactions to support healthy brain function. The other thing that the author talks about here is fat, and the brain is a fan of saturated fat. But it's important to understand that the brain can make its own fat locally. So we need to be careful with the amount of fat that we ingest, because it can inflame the body and reduce the oxygen supply. So just eating 25 grams of fat can increase the chance of getting dementia fourfold. So it's important to understand and to bring a balance to the fats and the type of fat that we ingest, knowing that it can be good and it can be bad. The author here suggests and talks about the importance of consuming monosaturated fats from things such as nuts, avocados, olive oil and yogurt. So if we can incorporate yogurt and olive oil and avocado and nuts into our diet, that will help our neuronutrition. The author also mentions polyunsaturated fats from fish, walnuts and chia seeds. The author then goes on to talk about the importance of amino acids and glucose in our daily meals. Because our diet impacts directly our cognitive functions, we need to spend a little bit more time selecting and being more focused on what we eat and how we eat. Because the author says that people who suffer depression tend to have a low amount of serotonin in their body. So to try and contra this and to try and to improve the brain function, the author suggests that we include more chia seeds. So chia seeds is a common element again. Oats, pumpkin seeds, and also glucose, and through via carbs, because glucose is another important thing that gives the brain an energy level. But the author says the sort of glucose that we should try and source is from things like honey, red beet, kiwi fruit, grapes, but to try and avoid, of course, refined sugar. So I'll keep it simple today. I'll keep it short because I need to get on the next train. But there you go. We've just spent a little bit of time together. We've gone on a little bit of a journey on this beautiful Monday morning. We've learned a little bit more about brain food from a book that Lisa Mosconi has authored, and hopefully that will give us some tools to make better choices from a food perspective to enable our brains to function a little bit better, and to help keep our brain age as young as possible for as long as possible. Anyway, take care everybody, have a wonderful Monday, a wonderful rest of the week, and I look forward to coming to you again from a different location with a different message, a message of empowerment, where we can be partners in each other's growth and development, where we can live, learn and pass it on and make the most of what we have. My train's just turned up, so thank you very much, and happy work week to everybody, and happy extra freedom week, given that we hit our 80%. Well done Sydney, well done New South Wales, well done Australia, and we will be one of the most highly vaccinated countries in the world, and take control as best we can of this pandemic and this COVID-19 challenge that we face. Bye for now, all the best, cheerio.